Cock a fucking mother ass shit fucker. Pardon my French. Sorry, I thought he dropped something that we're supposed to pick up. You see it, it's kinda white near his neck. See, it goes up in the air. Oh, it's suspecting. Oh. Oops. It's a long way. Mush! Yeah.
The blow was fatal. The Nivelle offensive was a bloodbath, a butchery. Soon, mutiny spread throughout the French infantry divisions, and the offensive was abandoned. Emile was jailed with the other rebels, waiting to be court-martialed. The dogs of war, man's best and most loyal friend, shared the same day-to-day as the soldiers. Whether carrying messages, saving the wounded, or sweeping for mines, they never failed to fulfill their duty.
What?
Let loose the dogs of war. Field hospitals. These are facts. Field hospitals, a complex chain of medical units, was set up to cope with the war wounded. From aid posts at the front, men were dispatched to field ambulances, where, after summary treatment, they were evacuated to casualties clearing stations, or CCS, and onto base hospitals or ports for repatriation to Blighty. The structure became more refined as the war progressed due to new emerging pathologic causes by trench conditions or gas attacks, for example. Basically what they're talking about here is shell shock. It was a very new condition. Unlike any other wars, where shell shock, the trench life, and mainly the constant bombardment of shells. They would stop here and there, but they would have 530 artillery pieces firing for a constant hour and a half or 2 hours or 3 hours, and they would, the shells that they were slinging out there were so many, for things like creeping barrage or trying to break up the barbed wire that was in front of the other trenches. It played very. Some might call it post-traumatic, stress, whatnot. It's not the same. It's on a much higher scale as PTSD, but nowadays what they call PTSD is I think a lot of that has to do with not only just the environment that you are in, but nowadays U.S. soldiers, especially, or any of the soldiers in NATO, Canada, French, the amount of vaccines and vaccinations and, all the different kinds of chemicals that they do end up putting into their bodies for protection and whatnot, especially during wartime. So they don't get it until they're going off, kind of thing. So I think that has a lot to do with what they're talking about here is shakes and manifestations coming out through your body. Like, you can't deal with it emotionally, so your body will expel that kind of thing. So shakes, temporary blindness, like there's nothing wrong with the eyes, it's healthy, whatnot, but the mind has just shut off your sight. It had enough and it don't want to see anymore. It's been damaged because of this shell shock thing. Oh, shit.
No. Vas-y. Dépêche-toi.
Oh, shit. Double shit. Oh, let me try again, lady.
Non, non, non.
I'm horrible at.
Dépêche-toi, dépêche-toi.
Oh.
Allez, Carl. Non, 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 non. Hé, oh, oh. Non, 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 non. Carl, c'est bon. Ok.
Come on, that was enough. Ah, fucking hell.
Tu vas t'en sortir, tiens bon. Allez! Ah! Allez, Carl! Dépêche-toi, dépêche-toi. Hé, oh. Non. Ça va aller, allez. Oh. Tiens bon, tiens bon. Allez, courage. Allez. Allez, Carl. Allez, Carl. Carl, tiens bon. Tiens bon, tiens bon. Non, 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 non.
Fuck.
Allez, Carl. Carl, tiens bon. Allez, Carl. Oh. Hé, vas-y.
Oh my god.
Non, 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 non.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Allez, Carl. Carl, tiens bon. Ça va aller, allez. Allez, Carl. Tiens bon, tiens bon. Ça va aller, allez. Allez. Tiens bon, tiens bon. Carl, tiens bon.
Ah, come on, it's such fucking bullshit. Like,
Allez, Carl. Allez, courage. Tiens bon, tiens bon. Allez, Carl. Allez. Allez, Carl. Ça va aller, allez. Carl, tiens bon. Allez, Carl. Oh, allez. Ça va aller, allez. Tiens bon, tiens bon. Ça va aller.
I'm coming now, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm coming. Maybe I'm not coming. You're gonna fucking die, sorry. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh my god, I fucking hate rhythm shit. I got no rhythm. I have none at all. You tricked me on the last one, fuckers! Oh no, you know what, dude? Just fucking die. Fuckers!
Ça va aller, allez. Tiens-moi. Allez, garde. Ça va aller, allez. Allez, garde. Allez, courage. Voilà, c'est. Allez. Allez, garde. Ça va aller, allez. Voilà. Tiens-moi. 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 Allez, courage. Allez, garde. Ça va aller, allez. Voilà, c'est. Allez, garde. Allez, courage. Garde, tiens-moi. Allez.
You ain't gonna make it.
Allez, garde. Allez, courage. Ça va aller, allez. Garde, tiens-moi. Allez, courage. Tiens-moi.
Oh, this.
One look from his son was enough for Carl to forget 3 years of war and exile.
Not gonna stay home.
After weeks without news of Emile, Marie finally received a letter from her father.
Aimé Chaillon.
Military justice. In uniform, soldiers were subject to military justice. 2,500 penalties were meted out to punish disobedience and desertion. Of these, 650 were actually carried out, mainly at the start of the war. As the war progressed, politicians tried to limit the use of executions, especially those intended to set an example. Nevertheless, in the wake of Chemin des Dames mutinies, over 50 soldiers were still executed. In World War II, during Hitler's campaign against Russia, Operation Barbarossa, the Russians had plenty of men, and they could fight a war of attrition against Germany because, yes, Germany was very technically advanced. There was a couple of things that Russia was quite a little more advanced on. Not say tanks in the way that Germany could make their tanks with such precision and stuff. Russian tanks were like casted, just liquid poured into a cast where you would have German high efficiency, very precision. You have the opposite scale of Russians, where it was stamped parts. It was casted, parts thrown together and driven off the factory and right into battle. Literally, there are accounts where they drove tanks out of the factory and up and into the battle. That's how close they had come. But the Russians were able to hold them off in Stalingrad. Now, the reason why I say they had some advantages was Russia was the first ones to come in with sloped armor. Basically, instead of having armor that went up and down, a piece of metal or not, you took that armor and you put it on a angle. And just by angling it, you almost double the amount of armor or amount of penetration that a warhead would have to do to penetrate that tank. So you could build a lighter tank and have the same or better armor than some of the big heavy Tiger tanks and stuff like that. Their war of attrition was in the sense of their soldiers. They had 1 million men easily, and plus more. But during Stalingrad, basically they sent men out with, in pairs. One would get a loaded rifle, and the other one would get a clip to load the rifle. Basically, when that man died, he was, to pick up the rifle, load it, and continue fighting. The reason why they did this was because if they didn't, they would have lost Stalingrad. When they sent men in, they meant it. Those men they were to fight to the death. If they had come back in a retreating way, they had a squad of men shoot those men down. They would call them cowards and shoot them down right then and there. No trial, no this or that, or accusations, or if they seen you coming back, you were gunned down by your own military. So it was either die for Russia or die for cowardliness. So, but this is mutiny. This is not cowardliness. This is a whole different thing.
C'est l'heure.
Dearest Marie, as the war ends for me, I have no regrets. I've seen too much horror. I hope fate has been more merciful to you. Our time on Earth is brief, and mine has been filled with so much joy that I can only be thankful for how much I've been blessed, most especially for the wonder you brought into my life. This letter is my last. I've been found guilty by a military court for the death of an officer. It was not my intention to kill him. War makes men mad. Though I failed Carl, I know my sacrifice has not been in vain. I fought for my country and my liberty. My honor is assured. Since it is the will of God to separate us on earth, I hope we'll meet again in heaven. Keep me in your prayers. Your loving Papa. Always.
Even though their bodies have long since returned to dust, their sacrifice still lives on. We must strive to cherish their memory and never forget.
Never forget is the motto. Remembrance Day, World War I. You're watching the Fat Man Go Boom channel. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for coming along with me. I do hope to play more games. Ones that are a little bit less sad. It was an excellent game. Totally worth it. Just even for the experience, learning a little bit of history. I think the art is fantastic. I think the story matches the art. They're both fantastic and worth it. So, if you get a chance, pick up this game. Support these types of games. We don't want to lose these types of games to Maddens and Call of Duties and things like that. Have to have some sort of artsy-fartsy games that really shine, really make the games shine. I have to say thank you very much for joining me. Please follow me, Fat Man Go Boom channel on Twitch.
Hungry
Please.
for more, the war was not yet over. Its appetite was infinite.
Please follow me on Twitch and on subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm young at this, only a couple of weeks into this. I will be upgrading things as I go along. So join me, and I'll be having schedules and stuff put up. My plan is, especially come September, my plan is to do at least 2 games at 3 hours each, or 3 games at 2 hours each night. And just to keep cycling through it, just to keep things fresh for everybody, and to keep a variety up going. There will be some games will just suck up all the time for a week or so, but those games should be far and few between. Next week, in about 7 days, Diablo 3 is coming out. I will be playing that, as well as on the horizon, there's some really good games such as Destiny and Middle-earth. I already secured those, and we'll be playing those games as well. Infamous First Light is another fantastic looking piece of DLC. Don't forget, Gamescom starts, I believe, either tomorrow or Wednesday. This is the European event, and it's huge. It's bigger than E3 attendance-wise, but may not have some of the heavier announcements. But they are trying to spread out announcements, so do not be surprised if there are bigger, better announcements at Gamescom this year than there was at E3. House Marquez are going to be the people behind Resogun are bringing a new game. Killzone, the people behind Killzone, the Guerrilla Games, they're bringing their new game. I believe they're going to be showing off an RPG, not a first-person shooter, but an RPG game. So I think it'd be fantastic to see what they can do with that. Also, drop me a line. Send me a message on Twitch or YouTube. I will definitely reply. I do this for enjoyment and for my health. Playing this will helps me forget some of my pain and discomfort. So I have to thank you very much, and I will see you guys tomorrow for sure. So join me then. Sometime between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. I will start my broadcast. I'm hoping a little bit early tomorrow, but we will see. Cheers and good night.